Today's episode of Glen's Retro Show is brought to you by DNA Dimension Designs, the best custom retro gaming decals in the game, period. Glen's Retro Show is also brought to you by Arcade Graphix. Looking to spruce up your Arcade1UP home arcade machine with a fantastic look? Be sure to look at arcadegraphix.com today.
Hi everybody, thank you for joining me on today's edition of Glen's Retro Show. I received in the mail a package from Arcade Graphix. Now Arcade Graphix recently has been making some nice overlay graphics for the Arcade1UPs, and they sent me some samples to try out. So let's take a look and see, number one, how it looks and how easy it is to put on. Let's have a look.
Okay, I'd like to give a big thank you to Arcade Graphix for sending me the new side art for my Arcade1UP machines. And anything you want to get from their website right now, if you use the promotional code RETROSHOW, you will get 20% off any orders. But let's take a look at some of the stuff they sent me and how easy it was to put on. So you can see right here is my original Arcade1UP Asteroids machine. And you can see on the front of the unit here, there's no artwork at all, it's just black. And they do list, the machine names on here, which is nice enough to let you know what's on the machine. But it does take away a little bit from the cabinet and how you want it to look. So first thing you need to do is take off your control panel and pull out the two panels. Fortunately, it's very easy to do. Just taking out 4 screws, disconnecting one main cable to your monitor. And then you can slide out both these boards. Now this is showing board J, which is the upper board. You have 2 sides you can use. You definitely want to use the black side. I guess some of these boards came black on both sides, but mine here has white on one side, so I only have one side that I can use. And you can see here is the board. Now you definitely want to go and just take some 70% rubbing alcohol to put on here, just to make sure there's no fingerprints, there's no dust, or any other adhesives or anything on here that can cause bubbling on your art. Now if you look at the artwork right here, it's very, very nice. It's very shiny. It's very good quality. But you can see in the shipping, it did have a little, I guess, I don't want to say it's even a bend in it. It's just that the decal came off a little bit from the paper on the back. But you'll see as it goes on, it's really not a problem. Just take your time putting it down and you will have no problems at all getting this to adhere. So in the official Arcade Graphix website, they use like a green painter's tape to hold these on. I couldn't find mine. I'll probably find it like tomorrow. I just had Scotch tape. But you can use anything. Just don't press down so hard that it doesn't want to come off again. So I put it on very lightly. And I actually moved it from this location down lower just to help with peeling it back. But basically, you're only using tape here just to make sure that you're eyeballing it. To make sure you have a good side here and a good side here. And the reason the artwork is done this way is because this is what's going to slide down in the cabinet. So any artwork here is going to get ruined. So it's better to just, make sure it doesn't and make sure it's out of the way. So just want to eyeball it. Make sure, on mine, I made sure it was flush with the top up here. I didn't make it flush with the bottom here for a reason. When you slide this panel back in, it's at an angle. And I worried that if it went all the way to the bottom, it would constantly friction on it and maybe cause the artwork to come up. I just didn't want to take that chance. So I made it flush with the top because that will sit flush with the control panel. But in any case, it's up to you how you actually want to put it on. So here it is. Went on very, very easy. Basically, just like it shows you in his videos, I put a little piece of tape down here on the corner, folded this piece of paper back, peeled off the adhesive, and I used this little X-Acto knife here to cut off the paper on the back. And then I started from here, and I didn't have any special tools. I had just my hand. I just took my fingers and worked it left and right, left and right. It went down so easy and smooth. There's no bubbling. You can see how glossy it is. This is actually my chandelier in the dining room up here. But you can see there's no bubbling on here, and all those little, I guess, little curves you saw from the paper backing from when it was shipped, you can see it is not here at all. It's on here perfectly smooth. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here, just so you guys can see that, if I get this thing to zoom a little bit better, you can see there's no artifact, no bubbling, nothing. It went on extremely well. The quality of this artwork here is really, really good, and it really was not hard to put on at all. And I always panic when I deal with any kind of artwork because I'm not good at it. It's either not downright, it's curved, it didn't sit down properly, there's air bubbles, air pockets. I had no problem with this one at all, and this was the very first one that I had done. Now you can see here on the, this is the larger panel, the bottom panel. Again, you can see in shipping, the artwork kind of came up a little bit because it was, I guess the way it was rolled up in the container sent it out in, which is very well protected, but it did cause this here. But again, you're going to see when I go to put this down, it will not be a problem. This will all be out and fine. So you can see here is the larger board that normally would have your machine names on it. And you can see here's the paper backing from the previous one. But you can see you just kind of eyeball it. You just make sure you have the same thickness on this side here and the same thickness over here. And again, I lined mine up with the top. Now these are made a smidgen longer, so when you're done, you will need an X-Acto knife to just trim off the very bottom on here. That, again, that's very easy to do. And make sure these notches are cut out here and here as well, because again, it's going to slide down into the cabinet. You don't want it to get compressed and bend it all. But you can see right here, once you lay it down, it's very hard to see anything wrong with the artwork or those bubbles I showed you a second ago. It's not even a bubble. It's just really, again, in shipping, this is shipped in a round container, and it just kind of came off from the backing. But as you go to put this down, it goes down very, very easy. So you can see here are the two ones that are done. And basically, this one was done the same way. I put tape roughly in this spot here, once I knew everything was angled properly and sitting on properly. And then I simply peeled off the back from the top, peeled it down to about here, cut off the paper, and you can see it went down extremely smooth. And as you can look, there is no issue with any of those lines you saw before. Once you start working it down, again, I didn't have any special tools. I used just my pinky and my palm, and I went back and forth. Very, very easy, back on both sides. There was no bubbling. There was no issue with it going down and sticking. I did it all the way to the end. Once that was done, you take off the tape you had on over here and peel off the rest of the paper backing and do the same thing. You work it back down this way, all the way across and down. And again, once that's all done, you will need a very sharp X-Acto knife just to trim off the very, very bottom of this here and make sure your two notches here are cut out. But you can see how well and how nice that really looks. I mean, it really makes a huge difference in how your machine is going to look. So here is my Asteroids once again with the two panels removed. So we slide our first panel down. You can see how that looks. It already looks just amazing. It's just really, really a nice visual eye candy, if you will, on these cabinets. And then you put in your top part. You can see they fit very well. There's a little black line that goes across, but there's really nothing you can do about that, and it really doesn't bother me. But again, if you put the artwork down lower, you probably wouldn't see that line, but I was worried that these two rubbing together would cause your artwork to get damaged. I'd rather have that little line there. It doesn't bother me at all. But it just went down so easy. It really looks nice. And then you put your control panel back on top, and this guy's ready to play. So the next one we're going to work on is the Pac-Man. Again, we have the two Pac-Man logos right here. No artwork here on the upper part. So again, we're going to take out 4 screws on the control panel and the one wire that controls it to the arcade monitor here. And then we can disassemble the unit just like the Asteroids. And once again, here is the Pac-Man one. And the coloring on here is just really, really nice. And it's just, he just does a nice job with this stuff. It looks great. Again, a little piece of tape down here at the bottom on both sides. Once you make sure your two sides here are equal and you're flush down the top, at least that's how I wanted to do mine. Then simply peeling this back a little bit, cutting off the paper backing, and working it down left and right, all the way to the top, making sure you don't have any bubbles in there. And if there are any small bubbles, usually you can work it out with your finger fairly easily. But if something should happen, again, all these I had no issues, but if you do have a small problem with an air bubble you can't get out, you absolutely can take a very sharp tipped X-Acto knife or a pin, and you make a small incision in the bubble and work it out. You will not see that hole. It's such a tiny hole, you will not notice it. But that's another way to get out any air bubbles. Or in this video, he does show people using water and like Dawn soap, a mixture, to putting it on wet. But I really had no issues with doing this. And again, we have our bottom panel. And all of mine on these bottom panels, I did the blank side. I took off these little stickers, did the blank side, so I can always turn this around and put the original front-facing names back if I wanted to. But I'm not sure if I'll ever do that, but it's just an option. You can definitely use the back side, and that's what I did. So once again, take a paper towel, take some 70% rubbing alcohol, just go over this machine real quick here, this board real quick, just to make sure it's all clean, dust-free, no oils on any kind, because oils will cause this to probably not adhere as well, or maybe come off in time. But as long as it's clean, it should not happen. And once again, lay it down so you're fairly confident your distance here and distance here is the same. Again, the top flush. Now you can see again right here, this is in packing. The paper backing came off a little bit right here. But again, when you see when I put this on, this will not be an issue at all. It'll come out just fine. It's just nice and glossy. It looks amazing. The work he's doing here is really, really good. Okay, and we're just going to put this one back together again. Here you can see the Pac-Man bottom half going in, and you can see there's no issues here with any type of bubbling. It went on very, very easy. It worked out very well. Just use your finger and just push out any inconsistencies as you're laying it down. And here is the rest of it. I mean, it just looks great. I mean, it looks really, really nice, and it was not, again, hard to do. This whole process of taking this apart, cleaning the board with some alcohol, make sure the measurements went on. Honestly, I would say it was half hour. Just to make sure you did everything really nice and easy. You probably could have did it faster or slower, depending on how much of a perfectionist you are. And I'm pretty much a perfectionist when I try and put these things down. But again, I'm just amazed how well it did come out, because I'm usually horrible with decals. And it just went on very, very easily. And you can see the two together, how they look now. It's just a big, big difference. I mean, it really gives you some good eye candy. Now, he also offers a new screen bezel around here, which I'm going to get, that matches more of the Arcade Asteroids. So that's next on my list to get. And again, the beauty of it is you can put it on the back side, I guess, of the screen, which I'm going to try and do. This way I can always flip it back and keep it looking, again, stock if I wanted to make it back to stock. But again, it's going to look so nice with the new bezel that he has on here. I probably will leave it the new way. So the next machine for me to tackle here was Galaga. Again, it looks nice. The logos are nice, the two machines on here, but again, nothing in this area whatsoever. So same thing, we're going to take out 4 screws up here, the 1 cable in the back, and then we can pull all the boards out. And then we can slide in our bottom half, like so. And then the top half. It looks really nice, the artwork down here, and just the one Galaga right here. So again, really makes a nice difference on how the machine looks. The next machine I was going to tackle was Centipede. Again, the artwork on the side is really nice on the actual Centipede. It's a white artwork. It looks really nice. But then the black right here, it's I don't say distracting, but it doesn't match the side panels on the machine. But again, you see your 4 machines right here. So we're going to take out the 4 screws, the 1 cable in the back, and we can remove the whole control panel. So we slide our first one in, and you can already see how amazing that looks. And then we finish it up. And again, it looks really nice. Now in this one, This panel on mine was black on one side and white on the other, so I decided to use this on the white side, so you really can't see any difference here on the sides, like you normally would see the black lines going on the sides here, but you don't. It looks really, really nice. I mean, that Centipede one looks fantastic. So here they are sitting together. I'm probably going to get some new artwork here as well for my 12-in-1. I just haven't done so yet. But once again, if you go to his web store and type in Retro Show in the coupon code field, you'll be able to get 20% off on all your ordering artwork from Arcade Graphix. And here's another shot, a little bit closer. I just think they look really good. And here on the side, you can kind of see the white Centipede artwork. So you can see how it now matches much nicer with the front here now. It looks really, really good. So once again, I want to thank Arcade Graphix for sending me some test artwork for these Arcade1UP machines. I really do think it makes a huge difference on how these machines look. And I can't say it affects gameplay, but just the look of it really makes a big difference to me. So if you do decide to go to Arcade Graphix, do remember to use the promotional code RETROSHOW to get a 20% off discount on any artwork. And it does do custom work. So do send him an email if there's something you want to have and he doesn't quite have in his store yet.
You know, I'm really impressed with this artwork. I mean, I was never very good with decals at all, no matter what size it is. I never seem to get them on right. They'd be crooked. There'd be bubbles in there. The quality of the vinyl that he's using is very, very good. The directions he showed were very easy to do, and I was able to pretty much do all for the cabinets here in only about an hour. And that's from someone who's got no experience doing this at all. And as you can see, they turned out really, really well. So I definitely recommend the artwork you can get from Arcade Graphix. Now he does do stuff for Arcade1UP, but he'll do custom work as well. So be sure to hit him up. I have his link down below in the description area. And once again, if you did like the video, please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends about the channel. And remember everyone, no matter what you do, be sure to game on.
Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit. Good dog.